record on OBS.
I pushed record. It was more that I realised I wasn't quite set up on the episode part for all three of us. I had it still on the other one. It's fine. Everything's great. We're ready. We're on.
Do I have sound?
You've got sound. Please go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Magic starts, so shut up, everyone.
Thank you. It's beautiful. Where did you get that?
Shein.
Ah.
I was so when it popped up, I was like, Jurassic Park, you say?
Okay.
I needed. Anyway, well, hello there, dear watchers, listeners, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening? Where are we? What is life?
I'd like to apologise.
Go on, Katie.
Here's the thing, and this is the thing with anything that I attempt to do. I go, hey, I've had an idea. About 5 minutes, well, it was more than 5 minutes. It was about an hour before we were meant to start. And then I thought, this will actually truncate things and make things way easier for me to do. It did not. It actually made everything harder and put more effort into it. I think how I tweeted yesterday that the thumbnail that I made, which when you look at it, really looks very low effort, took me about 20 minutes. Because I kept going through different design choices. A very similar thing happened here. I'm sorry that took so much longer than I thought it was going to, but we're here now. And I haven't changed my background because I haven't had a chance.
Wait, hold on.
It's okay, Katie. It's fine.
But it's fine.
Do you want to introduce the?
Yes, I'll do that. Hi everyone. Welcome to all
Yes.
the films we judged before. I'm Katie. That's Lily Kay, and we have Brian with us again today. Wonderful.
Oh shit! I forgot to do.
What?
I always do this
Do you?
when you say that's Lily Kay, and I'm like, you didn't notice? What the fuck? What the?
Look, I'm very
I'm
fried
hurt.
because of all of the work I've just put into this in the past hour.
I'm so sad.
Been a long day for us all, especially those who have actually had a day.
Like
It's
the
about
most I've
12:30.
done today is I had a shower. That was pretty huge, but
Okay.
I also went out and it's my brother's birthday on Monday, so I had to get him a card.
yes.
So I did leave the house for the
Yes.
first time in a few days. I'm just
That's
a
all we
bit,
get,
I'm
like a
bit-
card.
What? I've got everything else already. Jesus.
Oh my god!
Yes, for my brother's
Sorry.
21st birthday, I decided to just get him a birthday card.
Really sweet of you. Very considerate.
That's very kind. Well done.
Thanks.
Anyway, we don't need news. We don't need anything.
Good, because
we just need to get into this.
I did think about the news. I didn't have any time to write anything fucking down,
Yes.
did I? Oh, please understand. I
That's
did
fine,
all
that's
of this to myself. Nobody else is to blame for this.
It wasn't me.
All of this was my own doing.
Yes.
Lily, it's your job to look at the chat because I'll have to move
I am
so many
looking at
things
the chat.
around, so you get to look at that.
We have a woo and a woo-hoo.
Woohoo! Hi everyone. I apologise for my manic
Hello.
energy, but that's where we're at today. So franchise tier lists. I have done some stuff. So let me get the tier list up. We're going to switch over.
Yes,
Wow,
please.
look at how amazing that is. It's so smooth. You wouldn't think I've been going insane for the past hour or so. So, thought process on my tier list
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
How do I start this properly? Brain isn't working. I have picked out just a whole bunch of franchises. I googled best franchises and I made a selection of them, basically. Some fun ones, some ones that you're like, really? Maybe I'm hoping for a couple of them just for fun. And it's a lot of very obvious ones.
Okay.
I have very intentionally not put Harry Potter in here because J.K. Rowling can go fuck herself. That's the end of that statement.
Okay.
So if you're wondering, hey, where's that really famous one? I haven't put it in because she's a transphobic asshole. And I wish she'd shut the fuck up. What else? Right, I'll explain the tiers.
Yes,
I'm
go on.
pointing over
I
here 'cause
see
that's
so
where
many.
yes.
Yes.
So our main ones are the middle five.
Okay.
You know, in the usual rainbow stuff. So I'll go through those first. Going
Yes.
from, because basically I'm looking at these more as movies in selections of movies as opposed to overall franchise things. I'm not thinking about like advertising or toys or anything along those lines. I'm literally just thinking about the movies on whatever list, right?
Okay.
So we've got all bangers all the time. In that, literally no faults, no bad movies within this little selection.
Okay.
I'm just very, up because I've been.
You're doing great.
Thanks.
You're doing great.
You know when you get that like adrenaline from having to do stuff like in a very truncated period of time. It's like, wait, hang on, I've forgotten how to breathe properly.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Yeah, all bangers all the time. Nothing but great movies. Every single one, flawless. Basically the top tier of the top tier. An overall incredible franchise. And then underneath we've got. Well, I've written so close to perfection. I had a much better name in here, but then everything went to shit, and I can't remember what it is.
Okay.
And here's the thing about Tier Maker. I went to make a profile last time, but then they basically asked for all my data in the process of signing up, and I went, I'm not doing that, so I didn't. So this is a single-use,
Right.
Okay.
thing. So yes, so close to perfection. But basically, we've got a franchise full of really great movies, but you've got like one or two where it's just like, man, I really wish those ones didn't exist. Otherwise, this would be flawless. Or like just kind of ignoring it.
Fair.
Otherwise, it would be amazing.
Yes. Yes.
Then we've got thoroughly 50-50, where really it's a pick and mix, where you could point to any movie in said franchise and you're like, either it's going to be good or it's going to be shit. Basically, no real in between.
Okay.
Or just thoroughly
Okay.
mid, I think it's probably a good way of putting it.
Okay.
And then under that, we've got it's bad. Although, for a franchise where it's like, all of these films are bad, except for that one, where it's,
Yeah.
that one's really good. The rest of them suck.
Okay.
Right?
The first one, it feels like.
Yeah, that kind of a thing. And then on our last bit, we've got Please Stop, where it's like, why do you keep making these movies? None of them have been good. Please stop making them. I don't actually know if any of these are going to go in there, but I thought it was fun to put it in there. But then on either other side of it, we've got, right at the end, we've got, haven't seen any of these or haven't seen enough of them to judge, which you can dump ones, because I put some in here that I know I haven't seen any of, but I'm hoping somebody else has so they can make a judgment. But if it turns out that all of us are like, haven't really seen any of these, or I've seen like one and I can't really judge an entire franchise on that one specifically, then we can just stick it in the bottom and we'll just be like, nah, never mind. On to the next. Or, and then my final one, right at the top here, and I want this to be sacred in that I don't want to just keep shoving things up here. I think you get one for this section.
Everyone gets one.
If you want, you don't even have to put anything in there, but if you've got one that you really want to put in there, you can stick it up and flawed, but criticize it and I'll kill you. Where it's like, this is not, technically speaking, on an objective level, a perfect franchise. But if you say anything bad, I take your kneecaps. That kind of vibe.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
That's basically like our veto from the MCU one, but like I wanted to make it its own little special place. I also felt like when we were doing our MCU one, as much as we were like, well, just because there were so many movies, we kept the ranking quite small. But then I was like, there's so much nuance. I wanted it to be a little bit more space between things. But yeah, and then the thing that took all the time are all of these little posters down here. And as you're probably looking at them, you're thinking, why did those take you so long, Katie? I don't know. Truly, I don't. I wish I knew.
They look good.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done.
I did them all with my mouse.
Okay.
My hand hurt at the end of it.
I thought you said with my mouth, and I was
my
like,
mouth. I did them with my mouth. It was very impressive of me.
Wow.
Okay, good. Should we get into it?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Right, we're fine.
Let's get into
I
it
am
then.
very normal. Okay. Now, do we want to go via the stuff I've put down here, or should we go via the list I've written down? This is up to you.
Whichever
Or
you prefer.
Whatever you prefer.
Stop making me make decisions. I've already done everything else.
Do the list.
Do the list. Okay, we'll do the list. So on the list I've started with the DCEU.
Fucking dog shit.
Here's the thing. I think,
Yes.
personally, it goes in.
Yes.
It's bad. Although, because the Shazam movies are in there. And I think the Shazam movies are
That's
quite
true.
fun. But basically everything
They are
else.
fun. It's just
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm
Brian?
going for. Do you...
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. Yeah, I like the first Shazam movie.
That's kind of the vibe, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've not
Yeah.
actually seen the second one, but
Okay.
I'm sure it's fun.
You still haven't seen the second? I
No,
really
I
enjoyed the
don't-
second
I'll
one.
be-
I don't know what people's problem was with it, but like it was fun.
Hmm.
For me, at least. I have fun with it. I think it brought back that really old comic book vibe, movie style. I can talk. English is not a thing today. I really enjoyed it. And Helen Mirren as a goddess and Lucy Liu as a goddess. It just worked.
Isn't
It's
Adam
just
Brody
worked
in
for me.
those movies?
He is, yeah.
I believe in the Adam Brody superiority,
And you
supremacy,
still
that's
haven't
the
seen
word.
it.
I still haven't seen
Yeah.
it. Anyway, I'm
Okay,
sticking
fine,
it
you
in,
can
it's,
go.
it's bad, although, because it's got
True.
like, although. That's basically what
Although.
this thing was, created for.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up,
Okay.
we have the
That's
MCU.
easy. We're going to just fly through this
Yeah.
list.
Well,
I
we
feel
don't
like.
want to fly through it too fast, because otherwise we won't have that much of an episode.
Ah, that's true. Okay.
There has to be discussion.
Okay. MCU.
MCU. The entire MCU. Movie-wise.
With the TV shows as well.
No, I was just talking about the movies. This is very much
Okay.
a movie-focused list. I've not really
So
thought
you
about the
got-
TV shows at all. So
So
I'm
the tier, top tier, perfect, flawless, and then what's the second one again?
so close to perfection, where it's like basically only a couple misfires.
Hmm.
I'm honestly tempted to put this at this point, because there's so many of them, in thoroughly 50-50. Because it really does run the gambit.
To me, between the two, I would say the middle, like 50-50 with like almost perfect, I would say. Because there's just so many, it's like inundated.
Mm.
That's kind of where I'm
And
at.
you feel like the trend moves more towards the good as opposed to the very, very middle.
I would say so, because it's like when they always talk about like the lifespan of the Earth, like we've only been here for the equivalent of like 100 seconds.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
kind of what it feels like with the MCU. Like the last 100 seconds of the MCU has been pretty, but like everything else before that was relatively strong.
I will put it in the close to perfection, to be honest.
Okay.
Because if you look at how many movies they have, I think that first of all, especially with this big of a franchise, it is impossible not to have misfire movies. That's like, it's never gonna happen. I wish, but no, we're not living in that world. And I think looking at it, because now just thinking back on what kind of movies we've got so far, the only true like downfalls, especially in the first 10 years, were like the Incredible Hulk, which everyone forgot about that it was part of the MCU.
It's like kind of it half doesn't count in many ways.
Yeah, and then
It does,
and then
but it
the,
doesn't.
yeah, but then if you look at like the trilogies, like Captain America, the Guardians, which the third one is basically in Phase 4 now, but like still, the Spider-Man ones, there's like
Don't talk too much about the Spider-Man ones, because we will get to that.
I know,
individually.
I know.
would say Thor were the first two
Thor,
kind of missed.
yeah. Yeah,
Dark
but
Thor.
but altogether, I think they still have more good ones than bad ones. Like where you actually say this is genuinely bad.
Yeah.
I think they have more like good ones and then mid, and then I can only say like 2 or 3 that are like genuinely bad movies, and just bleh. So I would
I'm
still
happy
put
to.
it too close to perfection.
I'm happy to be outvoted, so I'll put it there.
And I love the MCU. If
Yeah.
you didn't know, I am fully tattooed with the MCU. So like,
I understand.
thank you.
Okay, Well, yes. So here's the next one. It kind of gets me onto. I can't remember if I talked about. I think I told you about this, Lily, but I don't know if I mentioned it
Wait,
on Scream. Scream?
hold on, because
I'm gonna die.
Ian just said no. Ian, why did you say no?
Well,
Why
Ian
did
can
you
write
say
out
no?
because
I
we're
looked
on a
at.
delay, so Ian can type out his response. Does he have a
Yes.
response? Okay.
I don't know. He
I
just basically said DCU is shit.
Mhm.
Second Shazam is awful. Maybe that's the no because I said that it was good.
Anyway. So I've split up a couple
Anyway.
of sort of slightly larger franchises into sort of smaller size
Yes.
chunks in order to judge them specifically, because some of them are a bit difficult to judge in their entirety. So with the Spider-Man as a franchise, oh, I should have put the animated ones. It doesn't matter. It's done now. I've split Spider-Man up into Maguire, Garfield, and Holland. So
Yes.
let us start with Maguire.
Oh boy.
I'm letting that out to people. Do you know what's fun? I still haven't seen Spider-Man 3.
What?
I'm not even surprised anymore.
No, you
by
shouldn't
these
be.
statements.
I
No.
remember it coming out, and I remember my dad seeing it whilst he was away. I
Yeah.
think, in the vaguest sense of my memory, he was out of the country, or he was on a trip, and maybe he was in London for the day. But he watched it on a plane. I think that was what it was, and he came back and he said it was bad, and I just never watched it since then.
Not great. There's a director's cut that's way better I think on Amazon Prime that you can watch that fills in the gaps of a lot of things they cut that makes it more of a film.
It's a film now.
This is that one where it's like, I think for me, it's like the break your kneecaps one. Like I love these films and they're so sentimental and nostalgic for me. Like there's that one outlier, 3, but like 1 and 2 I think are great and they change the landscape.
Are you asking to use your one?
Yeah.
Your one thing to put it up there.
I am.
Okay. Sure. Then
Okay.
then there it will go.
Fine.
The Raimi films are fun. I do think that they're not as good as a lot of people think that they are.
2 though is a fucking masterpiece, I think.
I watched
I know.
again recently, and I was like, this movie's not nearly as good as I remembered it being. The
Fair.
scene
It's-
of Dr. Octopus on the table when all of the arms come to life and like kills everybody. That is a banger of a scene, and is kind of Raimi at his
True.
finest, sort of Evil Dead-esque. But I was watching it like, this is the writing in this movie is not great.
Well, but it's like a different type of. It was pre MCU. It was like very like kind of corny. It was like intention like the comic.
It was very corny, and I'm
Very
not saying
corny.
we're going to take it out. It's your choice. I'm happy to put it in there.
Thank you. I'm sitting by it. So
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Do you have any
I'm-
thoughts?
I'm not
any
gonna argue.
specific thoughts on the Maguire Spider-Man movies, Lily?
To be honest, obviously I grew up with them. Like I 90s. Anyway, so I'm like, I'm old. That's the message. We get it. But I remember very fondly of all of them. But every year I do a rewatch on a lot of things, and Spider-Man is one of them. And you're gonna hear the rest of this opinion when we go to the next Spider-Man.
Okay. Then we shall move on
That's
to
how you
Garfield.
put it. Yes.
Shuffle on over to Garfield. I'm very fond of the
Abs-
Garfield movies. I haven't watched them in a very long time though, so I'm not feeling particularly harsh about them in any way, shape, or form. Are you about to
Okay.
shit all over them?
this is. Oh, do you want to go? Do you want to go first, or mine's short? I can contain it if you want to.
No, go ahead.
Might
Go
be
ahead.
funny
go
to
ahead.
bookend it with whatever Lily's about to
yeah.
explode all over.
Sure. Right. So I should go first, or bookend mine with.
No. Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Lily
Brian.
wants you to go, so you should go.
Yeah.
I think Andrew's the best Spider-Man and Peter Parker, personally. I think he was the best actor who played him. I think I love the Amazing Spider-Man movie. I think it's fantastic. Uh, I think two is such a travesty what they did. It's like, what did they do to my boy? That's kind of how it feels like. There's very little that's redeemable. It felt like a movie by committee. I know a lot of that wasn't Mark Webb's choice, but there was a really, really, really incredible franchise potentially in that whole thing that was just disemboweled. So that's that's how I feel about that. I don't know where to rate it though,
Oh, it's
because
so wild to me because I haven't watched it since 2012. So it's been 12 years. I know they said 14 years. No, it's been 12 years. But I remember really liking it in the cinema. And I remember being very emotional at the end of it. It had been spoiled for me. I saw it in passing online about the ending, specifically about Gwen. And I was so I spent the entire movie with a sense of dread in my stomach, being like, "Oh no, it's gonna happen." But you have to also remember, 2012, I was 14 probably when this came out, maybe 15. So be that as it may, and I haven't watched it since. So I really, anyway, Lily, please say what you're going to say now.
Okay, I don't want to be too harsh because I love Andrew Garfield very dearly. Andrew Garfield, very good, excellent, almost, although too dark of a Peter. And
have you? I'm so sorry. Have you read
Yes.
the original run of the? You probably have, I assume, because
Yes.
we're all kids.
Yeah.
It's dark. He was kind of almost like he's like, I'm going to show my classmates. I'm going to hurt them. You know what I mean? It kind of embodies that vibe. I feel like. Yeah, I'll do your time. I'm sorry. I'm just that's the one I've heard that comment before. So I'm like, I'm ready to.
It's
Okay.
no, because Peter and Spider-Man are like, he is the hero who, even though he goes through the shittiest fucking times, he stays positive and he stays like, on top of things, even if sometimes it swallows him a little bit. And I felt like, especially in the first movie, they put too much emphasis on the actually Peter is kind of an asshole sometimes because they made it that way, and I was like, that no, 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 that's not Peter. But Andrew Garfield was very good. I was very happy when he obviously came back. Movies, bad. They're just bad movies. Like, I was so annoyed because Lizard is one of my favorite villains from the Spider-Man comics, and I was very, very annoyed because Rhys Ifans is a great actor, and I really wanted a good Lizard storyline, and this was not it. And the second movie is just horrendous, just awful. I watched it one time and I was like, never again.
The
Absolutely not.
roughest films I think I've seen in
Yeah.
terms of hero films. Yeah.
Yes.
I really have to watch
No.
it again. It was on in the cinema recently, and I just missed it. I had intentions, but I had
There is-
concepts
Yeah.
of the plan.
Also,
sorry.
before we put it on any of the categories, we have a question.
Oh, please go ahead.
Katie,
Yes,
where's
yes.
the Resident Evil franchise?
Listen, it didn't come up on any of the fucking lists that I went looking for, okay? It's not on here. So there. Honestly, didn't even occur to me. I think of Resident Evil as a game franchise first and foremost. I forget that there are movies. So I feel very justified
Quite
in
a
not
lot
putting
of them. I think there's 6.
I'm
Really-
and I'm not putting them on here. It's
Yeah.
done.
Okay, that's the answer. That's the answer. Wait, Katie forgot.
I
Done.
didn't even forget. It didn't even cross my mind.
There
I
you go.
kind of want to put it in. It's bad, although because of the saving grace of the fact that it's Andrew Garfield and he does such a good job. I don't want to put it in Please Stop because it's already done.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
That almost feels like stabbing it whilst it's dead.
Have you guys seen the first one in a while? Like, have you rewatched
Yeah.
it recently? Damn it. Are we okay? Other question. This is kind of like a subsect of that. Are we including the No Way Home factor for both?
no.
No, because
Okay.
I've put the Holland trilogy as its own
I feel
thing.
like with this one especially, it kind of completes. It's okay. I'm just trying to fight for my boy.
I just
Michael
don't
Dorn.
feel like it's any worse than the DCEU.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Like
Okay.
I don't believe it should deserves to go below the DCEU. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree with that. Yeah,
So
but
I did like I'm not saying it goes here. I'm saying you can't see.
no.
I think it should go into It's Bad, although because of the strength of Andrew Garfield, and I'd argue Emma Stone as well because she is
It's
they're
true,
very
true.
good together. I mean, they dated for a long time out because of this.
That's true.
Yep.
Fine. Put it there. Put it there.
You know
Like
what I
that,
mean.
I know. Put it there.
Anyway.
Put it there. Put it there.
Holland
Won't argue.
Spider-Man.
Fuck yeah. Instant fuck yeah.
I'm trying to decide how I feel about No Way Home.
I
Not No Way Home.
love
Not No Way Home. The other one, Far From Home. Too many
Far From
homes in all of the titles in these movies.
look. Homecoming is
Yeah,
obviously
Homecoming is a banger. It's a great film.
it's a great film. Many people are like, but why is Tony Stark in there? Because it's in the MCU. Fuck off.
It's in the MCU, and at this point, we've established Peter is Tony's like protege.
Yeah.
And it works very well and all this sort of stuff. We've gotten to the point where he's more comic accurate Spider-Man. Just
Yes.
calm down, guys. Everybody calm
Yes.
the fuck down.
Just shut up. I'm not gonna lie. I would put it into.
All bangers all the time.
Mhm.
I need to point out also that All Bangers All the Time is a Succession reference for anybody out there who gets that. I'm channeling Roy for that one.
Look,
want
I
All
love
Bangers All the
Homecoming.
Time.
Homecoming is the more grounded place.
It's your John Hughes movie.
It is. Far From Home is like the big banger. I really love Mysterio. I don't care about the shit talkers. I love how they did Mysterio's scenes. I love Jake Gyllenhaal in the role. It was a
I
good
think a
movie.
big
I watched it
part
4
of-
times in the cinema.
Sorry. I think a big part of the Far From Home stuff that works for Mysterio is the fact that they really tried so fucking hard during the press tour to push that Mysterio was a good guy in this. And everybody was like,
Yeah.
really? Are you sure about that?
Mhm.
Are you going to keep to that? Which I think adds
Yeah.
to it
They
a little
tried.
bit for
They
me.
tried.
I just like the fact that
yeah.
they really, really
Yeah.
went for that to the point where I think enough people kind of went, well, maybe, so that when it finally did, that you did get that turn.
I was
it's
like that. I was like,
It's like,
maybe.
oh no,
Maybe
it's
Mysterio's a
that
good guy.
turn. I think is one of my.
No.
It is one of the both the funniest and also most satisfying like
Yeah.
like reveals that you can get in something of like because he does go from
Yeah.
being so
Oh, so
stoic to
good.
like yeah.
we did
All right.
it. And then No
I-
Way Home
I
is
mean,
fucking
I
great.
mean, it's No Way Home. Yeah, you know,
No Way Home is fucking great.
Brian, any thoughts
I love that trilogy.
at all
Really?
about anything?
I really like No Way Home.
You don't have anything about the other two.
I think Jake is great in Far From Home. I'm not a big fan of Homecoming. I never really was. I thought Michael Keaton was great as the Vulture. I don't know. It's I mean, I know like the whole now in retrospect, the whole sorry, my cat is really wanting a lot of attention now. In retrospect, the entire Tom Holland trilogy, which will probably be a 4th one coming soon.
Yeah, that was going to be one of the pieces of news I was going to mention if
Oh,
if I'd actually
there
got
you
around
go.
to doing. We are getting a 4th one, which is interesting.
The entire trilogy at this point was about him becoming Spider-Man, whereas before he was much more like Spider-Boy,
Yes.
or Tony Stark Jr., you know, and it didn't really work for me until No Way Home.
See,
Yeah.
that
Oh my
makes
God.
things better for me. I like it when like final installments and stuff can recontextualize an entire thing and go, oh, okay, now this whole feels cohesive. Like I
Yeah.
was seeing threads, and now you've made it all come together. So I
Exactly.
I like that as a concept. I am gonna put it in.
The ending of No Way Home is heartbreaking.
I love it. It's perfect.
It's so good.
But I
But
loved
my-
it. I loved it, but it is heartbreaking if you
It was-
look at it as a whole. It's like, oh,
And I'm like, that's Peter Parker to me. That's Spider-Man. I have to
Yeah.
with my cat Come on, buddy.
Right, you
Sorry,
go do it
I'll
with your
be
cat.
back in a minute.
I'm gonna move this
Yeah.
into all bangers. Unfortunately, you've been outvoted. You got your piece in the last one, so
Exactly. King go.
so whilst Brian is away, we'll move on to the next one and
Yes.
have our discussion about it
Yes.
whilst he
Yes.
deals with his cat. And our next one is, and again, I've split things down. So I've got Batman written down, but of course there's a lot of Batman movies. So I've gone specifically with the Nolan Batman because I feel like that is it's a trilogy. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You know,
Yes.
and feels pretty decisive in a lot of ways. So Nolan Batman. I know there's a lot of Batmans, but I also feel like if we don't, you know, the Batman as a full franchise is so all over the place. I feel like we would never have been able to come to a proper consensus. So, Nolan Batman it is. Which,
Oh,
Perfection.
I was going to say, it kind of is all bangers all the time, really, isn't it?
All bangers all the time.
I don't like Batman Begins. I think it's a really not a good at all.
It's
I
not
watched-
anywhere close to being as good as the other two. That's for
I
sure.
watched it. Yeah, I mean, like, just everything feels it's very, very inconsistent with the other two. I watched it twice recently, with two different people.
So this is
and I'm like,
recency bias.
yeah, no, I mean, this was like a couple months ago.
Kidding.
We watch all of them, and I watch. You know, I mean, The Dark Knight is an incredible. It's one of my favorite films of all time. Dark Knight Rises isn't bad. It's just not The Dark Knight, given what happened with Heath, sadly, and everything, and they had to kind of rewrite stuff. I think The Dark Knight, or no, sorry, the Batman Begins really pulls down the thing, but on its own, The Dark Knight is like perfection to me, and The Dark Knight Rises is pretty okay. I'm out with that.
And then Lily thinks, obviously, all bangers all the time.
Right. So we're battling this out. Yeah.
Again, we're in the between. I don't know.
Batman Begins,
I
it's
don't
really rough.
know.
It's really
Because
rough.
I don't think any of them are bad. I think when you look at Batman, the Nolan Batman movies in comparison to basically any other like franchise, like little selection, it is so consistently like, I mean, Nolan's such a proficient filmmaker. I think these are very much like filmmakers' Batman movies, if that makes any sense. Like, I know there's a lot. It's got a huge audience of non-filmy people who like the Nolan movies, but the Nolan movies are really like they are the film boys, Batman films. Right, you know what I mean. It's like these are the ones that they were made for like very much like film bro people. Which is not to say that they are bad. A lot of film bro movies
Yeah.
are actually absolutely excellent, which is exactly why they have the esteem that they do. But it's like trying to explain why the Batman movies are as excellent as they are to somebody who doesn't have a knowledge of film. It feels like I don't think you can properly quantify it. There is just a vibe, because like I don't think that Batman Begins is nearly as good as obviously The Dark Knight, because The Dark Knight is kind of a perfect movie.
It is, yeah.
And as much as I like to criticize The Dark Knight Rises, I remember watching it like for the first time after not having seen it for a while and being
good
like, this
movie.
movie is actually very, very solid.
Yeah.
A lot of,
Surprisingly,
like,
do I find the Robin reveal at the end of it incredibly stupid? Yes, but that's an entirely different point.
Yeah,
But it's like the tiniest part of
It's
the
very
entire
tiny.
thing.
I also think it's a bit messy as just like as a film, but like it's still way more cohesive than somebody else making a messy movie. If that makes any sense.
it
I-
definitely has second act. Sorry to interrupt you. I was just gonna say
No,
second
no.
act problem. It kind of just goes on for a bit, and then all the acting is relatively fantastic. I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt was a great addition.
Mhm.
Tom Hardy is fantastic in it.
Yeah.
Hathaway, I really like what she does with Catwoman. You know, a
Mm.
character that hadn't been on screen for a long, long time.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, the middle act is just a bit kind of meandery. What's going on? It's not tight. The Dark Knight, that's the thing. It's such a tight movie. It's so concise and
Kind
so
of,
focused.
you can see the difference between the two of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fuck. I feel really bad because it's. No, here's the thing. If we're putting the Holland movies and all bangers all the time, I have to put the Batman movies up there as well.
Yeah. It's
because I
because
can't
it
put them
belongs there.
below them.
No.
You know what I
Play
mean?
the whole
It
movie.
belongs there. Batman Begins is a good movie. Done.
Okay.
End of story.
Ah,
It
yeah.
like in terms of filmmaking overall, it's so proficient. You can't really say that none of them are bad, right?
No, they are not even
It's
close
just
to
when you
bad.
start comparing them to each other, it's like, well, this one seems worse. But then you compare that movie to like any other movie, it's like, well, I think my thing with Batman Begins is that I think Cillian Murphy's Scarecrow should have been a more prominent
Oh,
part of
fuck yeah.
it.
Yeah.
In comparison to the Ra's al Ghul of it all. Right, it's like if it just been a Scarecrow movie, I think it would have been perfect, like actual
Oh, yeah.
perfection.
Yeah.
But as much as Liam Neeson's a great actor and everything, I'm like, I honestly could have done this entire movie without that.
Agreed.
Looking back on it now, I guess Nolan in all of his Batman movies, all three of them, he has a two-villain thing. going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like it's that thing of like, why would you, if you've got Cillian Murphy being the Scarecrow, why would you make Liam Neeson playing Ra's al Ghul your higher villain?
That's not my diagnosis. Sorry, I think it's so corny. I think that first movie is so
Corny.
yeah, very much so. Yeah, especially with the groundedness of 2 and 3.
She lost her glasses in the process.
I'm leaving.
She's
What are you
gone.
talking about? I'm gone. What the
Can you
fuck?
please come back? We have more movies to talk about. Plus, we're moving on to an entirely different trilogy. So look, it's there now.
Yeah,
We can do
okay.
one more pass at the end of it to see if we want to actually change some stuff. But our next one is, and I've specifically done the trilogy. It's not even a trilogy. There's 4 movies. Fuck me, and it's the Hunger Games. What I was going for when I put this in and I said trilogy was I was thinking of, because the books are a trilogy.
Mhm.
Hunger Games, Catching Fire,
Yeah.
Mockingjay. I forgot Mockingjay was put into 2 fucking films.
Yes.
My intention when I said trilogy was that I wasn't including the Ballad of Songs and Snakes because I haven't seen it.
Yes.
So I'm not including it.
And it's not the Katniss story, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think that's a fair distinction to make on my part.
Yeah.
So with Hunger
Yeah.
Games, and it says trilogy. What it really means is saga, but I mean the last one's one movie.
Which one is?
Blah, 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 blah,
Which
blah,
one is the bot section?
what?
I don't know. I don't know how the tears are. Wait, hold on. I can't read. Although, sorry, it's not a bot. It's an although.
Wait, sorry. Are you about to tell me that the Hunger Games movies are bad?
Yeah. Mockingjay, especially, is
Mockingjay,
just the
generally
worst.
speaking,
Both of them.
the first Mockingjay movies didn't need to exist because it just could have been the second movie, frankly. The first movie's pretty fucking solid. I just hate the camera work in it. Catching Fire is a perfect film.
Catching Fire is very good. The
Catching
first movie
Fire
is
is fucking phenomenal. I would put this in thoroughly 50-50.
I would say 50-50 too. Yeah.
I didn't like Mockingjay as a book, generally speaking, anyway. Like, when I was reading it, I was like, fucking, Katniss is just walking around all depressed the first few episodes? Chapters. I just got bored reading it as I was going. The conclusion to it, though, was excellent. There's moments, there's a lot of bits in it that are, like, really fucking good. And yeah, Catching Fire is not only is it a really great film and it adapts the best book, it also adapts the best book about as perfectly as you could ever adapt any book ever. It is so accurate to what happens in the book. And it's just kind of a banger all around. And that for me brings it up a whole lot. And it is definitely better than the DCEU. I'm using that as my, like... it's like my guiding rudder at this point.
Ian said that the DCU should be down.
We should put DCU and stuff.
Yeah,
I might do that at the end. Like I said, I'll do a proper,
we might have to do that.
But at the moment, I think I would put it in thoroughly 50-50.
put it in the 50-50. But I'm gonna say this one last time because I am so fucking done with everyone who's like, I hated the marketing for the Hunger Games because everyone was like, this is so special and blah blah blah. Fuck off. No, it's not. It's literally, it ripped off The Lord of Flies and Battle Royale, which both came before, and they are both like so much better books and movies as well. So it's not an original story. It is a rip-off of other things.
No story is original. That's my counter to that.
Yeah, but this one was marketed as like, oh, this story, we've never seen anything like
here's
this.
the thing: the marketing for the Hunger Games was bad in that it basically did everything the entire book series was criticizing against. Also, it's very funny the fact that you put your hand up and the thing literally switched your boxes on the screen.
Yeah. You just
Did it
popped
really?
up.
You've completely flipped places. So that's fun. There we go. We flipped back again.
Okay, go on, Brian. Go on.
Wasn't it also partly inspired? There's some sort of so was this a lawsuit or some sort of like
Yeah.
controversy that was inspired by that short story called The Lottery, I think. Yeah. So there's also that too. This was relevant like 20 seconds ago. Not really.
Yeah. No. But you're correct. You're correct. That's true.
I think the books themselves. There are many things I could criticize about books. I don't like how much of a turn Gale takes in the last one because I liked Gale more than I liked Peter when I was reading him, and then he becomes so awful at the end of it because it kind of. But like on a thematic level, I can kind of see where it was like Peter was representing peace and Gale was representing the concept of war and all this sort of stuff. There's a lot of great thematic work that goes on in all of these books. I think Sugan Collins did a great job with. I think the movies lost that a little bit because they had to push the marketing level of it so much. And just the way that these things were, it's the same way that Squid Game was this critique of like capitalism and like competing to get ahead of each other and all this sort of stuff. And then they made it into a game show. Like an actual game show. It's like, guys, can we go 5 minutes without making the torment nexus? It's like,
Yeah.
It's just I can understand being pissed off at the marketing, but the actual material of the books themselves are really, really solid, and I think they do a really decent job of developing them for the big screen. I just
Put
don't.
it in.
Just,
Put it in the.
it's already in there. I'm just making my
Okay.
point.
Yes. Go on.
Mockingjay didn't need to be 2 movies. That's just really the whole thing of it. It's like, why did you do that? Well, there was no need for that. But it was in that time where they were splitting every final movie into 2 movies because they wanted to make more stuff out of them.
Except for Maze Runner because they did it right.
Well,
They-
yeah. I should have put the Maze
Yeah.
Runner on here.
It's not there.
There's 2. Yeah, well, no, it
I'm
didn't
leaving.
come up. There's
Okay,
other
what's-
stuff in here that's
All right.
sillier.
What's next?
Next is Star Wars.
Oh, the original trilogy or the prequels?
Honestly, Star Wars is just in here as
Star
Star
Wars,
Wars.
yeah, all of
The
it.
So it's all 9 movies. We are not looking at any of the TV shows, but we're going from prequels to the sequel
God.
trilogy.
There's Solo and Rogue One as well.
And there's Solo and Rogue One.
Oh boy.
Because this
Oh,
really
boy.
is franchise. And I think that there are like movies enough in here that we could kind of
Yeah.
Star Wars is 50-50, as much as I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Star Wars, but it's 50-50.
It really is, because
It's been saturated by
it has been saturated, and if I'd done this earlier, maybe I would have split it up into more ones. But I think as a whole thing, and we're not even done yet because as soon as Disney decide to open their purse strings again and make a feature film, that would be nice. We'll have more. There will be more Star Wars movies. It's just we're very much in Star Wars TV show land at the moment. It really kind of runs the gambit, doesn't it? Just the whole thing. You go from truly some shit. Looking at you, the Clone Wars. What are you? You insane piece of media. I watched them again relatively recently. I think it was like last year or something like that, and I was like, Christ alive, this movie's fucking bad.
Yeah. No,
But
it's 50-50.
Revenge of the Sith is Yeah,
is awesome.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi in my head get consistently confused because I'm always like, I know which one is which in terms of like what movie I'm thinking of. I just get the titles mixed up every
Fair.
time. I really have
Like
to think about it.
poetry. It rhymes like poetry.
It's like poetry. It rhymes. Well, that was really easy.
Yeah.
Well,
Done.
No arguments there.
Next one I put in for me, and it's the Mission Impossible franchise. As
Oh.
much as I want to put it in all bangers all the time, Mission Impossible 2 is a shit film.
And I don't like Mission Impossible.
I know. That's why I put it in here for me.
I've only seen a couple of them, so I really can't. I don't want to comment.
No, I want to hear what Mission
It is
Impossible
up to
movies
you.
you've seen though, because I'm curious.
The main one I remember was Fallout.
Fallout is probably the
I-
best.
And
Mission
that was
Impossible movie.
that's the clearest memory I have. I watched some of them when I was younger, but like Fallout more recently,
Yeah.
again, and I like that one a lot. So I'm biased. So it's just not a.
All right, because I want to go over this real quick. One is a great movie, but it's basically a spy thriller, which makes it very distinct from all the other movies. It is a slow, almost Cold War-esque film. Strangely enough, compared to where it gets to, I like it. It's not my favorite. 2 is shit, which is such a shame because Thandie Newton is an amazing actress, but it is just a strangely misogynistic movie that seems to keep wanting to draw attention to the fact that it's misogynistic. The action's great, and they still somehow didn't make Ethan into a complete misogynist in it, but it's just like there's a pervasive air in it. I was like, Jesus, this is just not a fun movie to watch. The third one is J.J. Abrams' entry, and it introduces us to Simon Pegg's character, who ends up really changing the entire thing of the franchise. I've wanted to talk about Mission Impossible properly for a really long time, so this is I'm taking my soapbox moment. Mission Impossible 3, yeah, it starts off with such a bang. The opening sequence to that movie is kind of bonkers, but it's also like you start it, it's like, oh, I'm watching a J.J. Abrams movie. There's immediately lens flares everywhere, and it's just the color grading of it is immediately like, I know what I'm watching. But it's a fucking banger of a film. There's a point near the end of it where he basically has to kill himself for like half a second to make sure he doesn't explode. It's great. And then you get on to 4, which I really don't think is as good as many people think it is. But it is fun. It's the first time they start kind of trying to put humor properly into Mission Impossible. And you got them climbing up that really big building in Abu Dhabi and all that sort of stuff. It's a fun film. It's not that. It's when you get to Rogue Nation, which is my favorite, absolute banger of a movie. And then this is where you get into all the Chris McQuarrie, Tom Cruise like mashup. That's not really the word I'm looking for, but it's the closest one I can get to right now. Collaboration films, they just start getting like more and more interesting. But Rogue Nation has just got such a special place in my heart for me, just because I can remember the cinema trip I took to watch it so specifically. The end is so good, and Ethan is such a petty bitch. It's amazing how they've managed to make 7 movies and actually have him with a like kind of a character arc across all of them. It's a little bit bonkers. Fallout I watched not long after, because I was prepping last year to watch Dead Reckoning, and so I watched all of the movies again. And Fallout is a better film, but Rogue Nation just got such a special place in my heart. And then Dead Reckoning was just really fun, but they did something really awful in it that I'm mad about. I'm putting it in flawed, but criticize it and I'll kill me. I've talked myself into it. I wasn't going to, but I was like, no, I love this franchise too much. And here's the thing. I know that Tom Cruise is a strange and weird and probably bad guy. To me, he's not a real person. He's just a man who makes action movies. It's like the stuff that he makes is almost like my guilty pleasure stuff, you know? Where I'm like, I just really like watching this guy jump off of buildings. I had a great time watching him jump into the Olympic arena during the closing ceremony.
That was fun.
It made me very happy.
Yeah.
The whole thing was very fun to watch. But that's my whole... I'm done now. Because Lily's never going to want to talk about a Mission Impossible movie with me, and I have thoughts about them.
Sorry.
Done. Right, moving on.
Right.
I've got Star Trek here, and I've split Star Trek into original and reboot. I'm aware that original then has a lot more movies in it, but I feel like that there's such a hard line between the two of them. I had to split them up. So Star Trek original. Has anybody actually watched any of the
No.
original Star Trek movies? Because I
No,
haven't.
so I think you can put it on the bottom in that
Any
gray
thoughts on that one,
box.
Brian?
I watched the. Oh, wait, what was the question? I'm sorry, Kate.
I'm just saying, have you seen any of the original Star Trek movies?
I watched the original series, but I've never seen the movies.
Right, and I haven't
Into
seen
that,
any.
yeah, there you go.
And then we get on to Star Trek reboot, which I have seen all of.
Yeah, I've
Look,
seen.
I'm before anyone says anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anton Yelchin,
Hmm.
and I love all three, so I don't care.
That.
It's up there,
I think it's up there. I do think Beyond wasn't nearly as good as the other two.
but it's Anton's last movie,
Yeah.
so I don't care.
Plus, it was
Like,
Leonard Nimoy's like last appearance.
last,
As,
yeah.
I mean, it almost feels like mean to.
Oh, I think it's nuanced to separate. Be like, he was fantastic and it's really sad, but the whole movie, it's you know what I mean. It's
I
like,
don't think. But here's the thing: Beyond wasn't bad. I just don't think it was as good as the other two.
That's that's it.
I've
Like you know,
got
it's still a good movie.
Like, and the 2009, I meant 9. Jesus H Christ, 2009 movie is so good.
So good.
It's so
it's very
good.
good.
And
and
Into Darkness is really good as well.
Yeah, I saw Into Darkness twice in the cinema, and this was back when I had to like, but like this was back when I didn't have my own car, and I had to like make plans with other people in order to go see things in the cinema. I made like an effort to go see Into Darkness a second time. I didn't have
Wait,
like
yeah.
because it was
I
2013, so I was 16 around that time.
I'm being stupid because I actually saw Into Darkness 11 times.
Good
in the
lord.
cinema. I know the entire monologue of Khan when he gets captured and he's in the prison cell because that's
wait,
how much I
Khan's
love
in the
it.
movie? What?
Yeah, sorry. So it's and Beyond is arguably like a weaker movie than
Yeah.
the first two, but it's still no. And Anton Yelchin, who's
I would put in like the nearly perfect, I guess.
yeah.
Would you be happy if I put it in Close to Perfection, or would you get
Yeah.
really mad at me?
No,
Okay.
it's fine.
Then we're putting it in Close to Perfection. Next
Go on.
up on my list, Mad Max. I have only seen the newer Mad Max movies,
Same.
I've seen.
so I've
yeah, the
not
newer-
seen Thunderdome, and I haven't seen the original, and I haven't seen whatever the third one is called.
Oh God. Yeah,
That.
that one.
So I feel like we haven't seen enough to judge because,
No.
like, as
No.
much as Fury Road is a perfect film, it's not really enough to judge an entire franchise on. But I do want to put that out there. Fury Road is a perfect movie and is, frankly, more feminist than Barbie could ever dream to be.
Oh, so good. Yeah. So
I,
true.
I literally watched it again the other night. Like, there's nothing wrong with this movie. It's
Yeah.
so excellent.
It
The
is good.
entire sequence where they start trusting each other and they start passing each other guns, and that bit where he like pulls out the sniper rifle, realizes he's not going to be a good enough shot, and gives it to her, and he rests it. That's cinema.
True. But we haven't seen enough Mad Max movies.
Alas.
So
I did put it in here. I was like, I swear I
Okay.
did this one. Die Hard. I've only seen the first Die Hard movie.
First I heard movie.
Here's the thing. That's like one of those franchises that I don't know why I just naturally don't like at all. and I've only seen 4, and then I was on set for 5, and it was an awful experience. So
I'm gonna put this in. Haven't seen any enough to judge
There you
because
go.
I feel like that's yeah. My parents are really big fans of 4.0.
sorry.
I've just put that one out there. No, I think that a lot of people don't like it, but my parents will watch it basically any time it's on TV. It's like,
Okay,
oh,
fair.
Die Hard's on.
There you go. There you
They'll
go.
put it. They'll watch it. They're very fond of it. It's kind of why I put it on here. But like I said, I've only seen the original. But there's so many of them. I felt like I kind of had to. There was a lot of the franchisey ones that I would put were like suggested to me were a lot of action movie ones. And I was like,
I'm not surprised.
I don't know. I haven't seen
All
a
right.
whole lot of these sort of things.
Thanks, Sean.
Next up, Lily. Next
Is
up
it
is
mine?
Alien. And I would like to. I don't know if you can see it on the stream, but I tried to draw a xenomorph in the worst way possible. It looks so
Oh.
bad.
My God, what is that?
I went for the shape of the head and then couldn't remember what any of the rest of the body looked like and went, that'll do. I gave him a little smiley face. No, I didn't. That's not true. I gave him a little eye and then a little angry eyebrow, and then I gave him some like I did a little jaggedy line to make it into like you've got big teeth.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well done. But okay, Alien. Listen to me. Listen.
Oh wait, sorry. Sean said Mad Max 2 was Road Warrior, and then it goes Thunderdome. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean. Only the first four counts. I don't care about the others. Fuck you, Ridley Scott. I fucking hate you still.
Well, you can't discount movies. That's not the point of the.
No. I can. When it
No,
comes to Alien.
No,
I can.
can't.
No,
That's
I
not
can.
how this works, Lily. The whole
I don't
point,
care.
The point is you're meant to judge the entire franchise.
I
for what
can't
it
do that
is.
because if I do that, this goes down to fucking shit. And I don't want that because Alien, and especially fucking Aliens, is a fucking masterpiece. And I refuse to put it anywhere else than in perfection. But if I put fucking Prometheus and Covenant in there, then it's dead. It's done. It's
Here's
bullshit.
the thing: you can't negate the other movies by putting the bad movies next to it. I would argue that that gets pushed to. I mean, thoroughly 50-50 seems like the sort of space for it if you judge all of them together, because you have such high heights as Aliens and arguably Alien. Even though I don't like it that much, I know it's a very good movie. I haven't seen any of the other ones other than Romulus than we saw recently, which is also good. It just starts getting annoying near the end. Brian, do you have any thoughts on this?
I'm going to opt out on this one. I haven't seen enough of them. I've only seen Alien and Aliens.
Okay.
So
Let's come back to this. I can't.
You want to leave it for a minute? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you stew.
Okay.
yeah.
I'll let you stew on this one.
Thank you.
I feel like maybe we should speed up a little bit just because we have been going for nearly an hour.
Go on.
As much as I was like, hey, we can't go too slowly. Now we've gone a bit too slowly.
Go.
Sorry, too fast, but we've gone a bit too slowly now. Next up, I've got X-Men. So I'm going all from... I'm doing specifically mainline X-Men movies, so we don't need to judge like the Wolverine films. Specifically 1, 2, 3... First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse. Do we want to include Dark Phoenix? I know technically speaking...
You can't close it out if I can close out Prometheus.
I know, I'm just trying to decide if it actually counts.
It is an X-Men movie, so
okay,
yes.
then I haven't actually watched Dark Phoenix. I did not see it.
You're better off. Just saying.
I just rewatched all the X-Men movies as of last month. I really like 1 and 2.
Mm. Do you know?
And Apocalypse is really not Apocalypse. Sorry, no.
Days of Future Past.
I was going to say Days of Future Past is kind of a perfect film.
It is, yeah.
It's a fucking banger.
It is, yeah.
And First Class is great. It's
yeah.
a sweet little like
50-50, I would say.
It's in between 50-50 and like nearly perfect.
I
Because
would be happy to put it in.
Thank you, Sean. I love Resurrection as well. There you go. Sorry,
would say-
that's Alien.
if you exclude Dark Phoenix, I haven't seen it. I've heard a lot about things about, and then also
I have heard it's really bad.
It's really bad.
Apocalypse was like fine, but
Meh.
it could have been more, considering the fact that you had Oscar Isaac in there, and it was like
And you wasted him.
I remember watching it. I don't remember fucking about it. You know?
Yeah. I would put it into 50-50.
I'm happy with that. I haven't seen the earlier ones in a long time, but also Bryan Singer can fall in a hole, frankly.
True. But still 50-50.
Indiana Jones.
I haven't seen enough of them.
This
So
is my trouble. I have seen Raiders. I think I've seen Last Crusade. and I saw Kingdom of the Crystal Skull way back when it came out, but I haven't seen the second one, and I haven't seen Dial of Destiny.
I
Right?
leave it up to you.
I've seen all of them except the most recent one with Phoebe.
Waller-Bridge.
I always say Phoebe
I feel
Bridgers
like,
when I mean.
yeah, Phoebe. I think that's enough to give me your opinion, and I'll put it there.
They're just okay. They never really did anything for me, I guess. Personally. I think the first one's the most fun and interesting, and the rest are they. This is just a personal thing. They didn't capture me, so I think I'm the best person
From the
to
bits
say.
that because Raiders is a really fucking good movie, and Last Crusade is also really good. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is a weird fucking film, but I remember enjoying it. But I was also a child, and I haven't watched it since then. I was very, very young. I kind of want to put it in 50-50. But I feel like there are people who would get really mad at me if I do that, but I'm putting it there anyway.
Temple of Doom was the second one.
Temple of Doom. That's always the one that, because that one, I watched a whole video about this recently, the other day. Cinema Therapy did a whole thing about like Indy's character arc over the movies, which was very, very enlightening and all this sort of stuff. But I mean, there's some stuff in those movies that really hasn't aged well. I'm gonna put it in 50-50 because the highs are very high, but the lows are aliens. You know. Right, moving on. Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
Perfection.
I mean, I'm not gonna even go on that one.
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
Ooh, I hate those movies.
Don't shit on the Hobbit.
I will fight my battle on this
Stuck
one.
in the
No.
middle.
No. The Hobbit is exactly what it's supposed to be because it was always a children's book, first and foremost, before it was anything else, before it was The Lord of the Rings, before anything. And I think Peter Jackson made a very perfect decision of making it more lighthearted, but still bringing in the darkness towards the end as we head toward more of the Lord of the Rings storyline. Martin Freeman is fucking excellent as Bilbo Baggins. Every single cast member who played the dwarves, first and foremost, obviously, Richard Armitage, are fucking amazing. Ian McKellen's back. We get Kate Blanchett. It's fun. It's beautifully shot, so beautifully shot. And all three of them came out on my birthday.
It's lovely.
And just like Lord of the Rings, by the way. So I will not accept any shitting on The Hobbit because it's beautiful.
Respectfully, I'm going to argue with you on this one. I think that they're really, really rushed, put together films because they were. Because if you look at the production history, which you guys probably know, Guillermo del Toro was filming them, was making the Hobbit movies. For whatever reason, left the project, most likely fired. And I think Peter Jackson, his team only had something crazy like a month or two of prep time. Whereas in the original Lord of the Rings movies, they had like 2 or 3 or 4 years. There was just an incredible pre-production amount, for time, pre-production time. For the amount of work that they had to do. They were literally making things up on the spot. They had a second unit that was Andy Serkis directing the other part of the Hobbit films. There was lots of footage of Ian McKellen crying on set because it was just all green screen and nothing made sense.
That's one footage when they were in Bilbo's home. It
was shot 45 frames per second for no bloody reason at all, and it doesn't hold up. The orcs aren't in person anymore. They're all CGI.
That's not true.
That I do not. I think that they are the best they could do with what they're given. But I don't think that they have nearly anywhere close to the heart of the original trilogy. And to me, they're just like very middle films. So if we're going, I'll compromise with middle films with like 50-50.
No.
Here's the thing. I don't think, because I have seen them all. Yeah. I'm going to surprise everybody here. I have actually watched all the Hobbit movies, and I watched them all in the cinema. And this has come from somebody who really doesn't have that much of a skin in the game when it comes to Lord of the Rings. Unexpected Journey is a great film. It's just fun. It's a great time.
Yes.
Desolation of Smaug goes off in a weird fucking direction in the fact that it just keeps cutting away to whatever the hell Gandalf is doing, and it's just sort of like, why? I don't. What's happening right now? I feel like this isn't necessary to making this film what meant to be. It just felt like it was inflating the time.
I won't argue with that. I didn't have a problem with it.
And I also remember thinking that it didn't look finished when I watched it in the cinema.
Mhm.
Like a couple of bits of the CGI just looked unfinished, around Smaug specifically. But fine movie. I don't really remember anything about the last Hobbit film. I know I watched it. I think it was just a big battle, as far as I can remember.
It was.
And
Battle of the Five Armies.
Which
they took the shortest book and just made it into, which was not necessary. And there was a studio mandate, I believe, too.
That's bizarre. I feel like 2 would have done it fine,
At the most.
At the most. But at the same time, because I'm literally in the middle of you two, I don't think it's actually. I don't know if I'd put it thoroughly 50-50, and I feel like Lily would have killed me if I put it down that far. I would suggest the compromise of putting it into so close to perfection, because I don't think it hits the heights of Lord of the Rings.
No.
But it's also
No, it is flawed, but
are we happy
close.
with my positioning?
I am. Yeah.
Has the council come to?
I am, and I will fight everyone who's bitching about the Hobbit.
I will too, verbally. So, yeah.
I will do physically.
It's in there now, so we're moving on to Predator.
Thank you. What's the next one?
Predator.
Oh, absolutely. Except for the first one and the one that our very own Hungarian director Anton Imro did. That was Predators and Prey. Everything else is like, so 50-50.
Are you sure? Because I was going to say, how many Predator movies are there? Because I've only
there's
seen
Predator. There's Predator 2.
Okay.
There's Predators. There's the Predator, which is just awful, and it has Sterling K. Brown, which is such a waste of Sterling K. Brown. And then we have Prey. So it's a 50-50.
Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, well,
But Prey is pretty fucking
good,
good,
Prey is really excellent, but I would almost be tempted to put it into it's bad, although because it's got some like a couple of standout bits and pieces. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Where it's like, ugh, but also,
put it there.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
get
put it there.
You get what I mean? Pirates of the
get what you
Caribbean.
Fascinating. So, are we including the
I'm calling
just one?
all movies.
pirates. Yeah.
So all 5 of them.
Honestly,
I have
same.
seen 2.5. I've seen the
Yes.
end of the World's End so many times. I've never seen the beginning.
Right.
I will put it like this. The first movie is excellent.
Yeah.
Very good. Everything after that is like mid or bad. And that's it.
I strangely like the 4th one.
Is that Strange
it-
Tides?
Yeah, I weirdly like that one. I think 1 and 4 are my favorites. 1 is a fantastic movie.
It is.
It's the Dark
Without
Knight.
a question.
It's bad, although
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
bad, although.
it's bad.
50-50, but yeah, that's just my take.
I should have drawn something for this, but I was in a bit of a rush at this point. The next one is Toy Story. I put
Toy
this in
Story is
here because
excellent.
Toy Story is I would say it's all bangers all the time, frankly, because I actually really like Toy Story 4.
I
Despite
did like
people
Toy
said
Story 4,
that it was unnecessary, I thought it was a really lovely epilogue. It's not Toy Story 1 or 2, but it's still fucking excellent and still gets you.
Yeah. And nothing beats 3, to be fair.
I think 2's still my favourite.
Oh, I love
There's
3.
something very, very special to me about 2. I think it's the one I remember watching the most as a kid.
Okay.
I haven't seen 3 since I saw it in the cinema. It emotionally devastated me that much. I
Same.
honestly don't have the ability to watch it again. I was like, I don't know if I can do that.
Understandable.
Especially now as an adult. Like, it was enough when I was 14. I don't know if I can do it now.
Understandable. But it's perfection.
It is perfect. Did you have any thoughts, Brian? No?
I've only
Alright.
seen the.
Oh, wow. What? Sorry, hang on. You've
I
seen
didn't want
one
to.
Toy Story movie?
The first two.
Okay.
I
Still.
didn't want to emotionally devastate myself after, because I knew that 3 came out when I was in high school, and then 4 He just didn't want to do
Oh my
that.
god, you're so young. Came out when what the
I'm
fuck?
almost 30.
That's true. How did it came out when you were in high school? Then that doesn't make sense.
3 came out in 2011, I want to say.
Yeah, I was in high school.
2010?
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah, oh, then middle school. I never
Somewhere
saw
around
it
that period. I was about 14, I remember that.
in sixth.
Oh my god, stop talking. Go on. What's the next?
It was 2010. But yeah, I've got very, very personal. I mean, Toy Story is like part of the lexicon of my household, you know.
Yeah.
Buzz,
Put it
the
there.
monkeys aren't working. The Matrix is my next one. I haven't watched the newest one, but you know, I mean, were you at the beginning of Relator, Brian? I can't honestly remember.
No.
The first 3 movies we watched for movie night were the Matrix
because
trilogy.
Troy loved them.
Yeah. And obviously the first Matrix movie is
It's excellent.
It's excellent. The second Matrix movie has that entire sequence where they're just fighting like 1,000 million copies of Mr. Smith. Where I remember watching it like, this is going on a bit. This is going on a bit. It just keeps going, actually. I would. I'm tempted to put it in thoroughly 50-50.
It is. But that's generous because I would say the first one is very good. Everything after that is just
Yeah,
why does it exist?
I have to agree.
I
think
mean,
the
they
first
had
one,
a plan, to be fair.
I
It
think the first
didn't
one's
seem like it.
horrific. Again, it's the Dark Knight, if we're going to keep using that metaphor of like the franchise. It's a focused, tight, really, 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 especially at the time. I think we take it for granted, but it was revolutionary.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I
then
just
I
don't
think-
think it belongs down here. I feel like it. I think I'd be more happy to put it next to Indiana Jones in terms of like vibe.
Matrix
think,
is mostly bad, Ian says in the chat.
Yeah, I was going up what Lily said. I think that most of it is carried by the first movies.
Am I
Yeah.
being
Oh, it's so true.
Am I being outvoted? Do you want me to put it down one?
Yeah.
I don't
Please.
know. Where is it? Let me see.
Currently, thoroughly 50-50.
As
No,
opposed
it's not.
to
It's bad, although
It's bad, although.
yeah, which one's it's bad, although that's lower. I think probably 50-50.
well, you've been outvoted, Lily. Sorry, it's going in the middle. It's mid.
It's not. It's
Though
bad.
I can see the argument for it's bad, although
It
so.
is bad.
It's now
Okay,
mid.
What's next? What's
Next, I've put in James Bond because James Bond is one of the biggest franchises in the world. Thing is, I have not really seen any of the older James Bond movies. I've seen them in the fact that my dad has, like, they've been on. My dad has watched all of them. I have watched all the Craig movies, so I've carved out. This is just Daniel Craig Bond, because otherwise we really would have too many movies to talk about.
I hate James Bond with all my heart, so
Okay.
I won't say anything.
Brian, do you have any thoughts on this?
I've only seen the Daniel Craig ones.
Well, great, because that's what we're talking about.
Hey, Skyfall's good.
Skyfall's excellent.
Skyfall. Casino Royale is good.
Yep, it's again also an excellent movie.
No Time to Die. Just they're not my favorite. Like they're not my favorite. They don't do anything. for me.
I really loved Skyfall. I remember I saw it in the cinema and I was like, shit, this is some really fucking good filmmaking. I really like it came out around that time I started watching more movies. Kind of it was I was starting to kind of take a note of what was coming out in cinema. Pardon me. And I think it's the first Roger Deakins shot movie I can remember actively watching in the cinema.
Yeah.
And it's like it's once you see a Roger Deakins movie in the cinema, you're like, fuck me, I can't go back to other cinema after this. Nothing will compare.
It's like I'm sure you've seen Prisoners. I remember first watching it. This is the most incredible.
It's just stunning to look at. Like the cinematography is so freaking good, and it is just a really, really cool movie all around. Spectre's a mess. It was an unfinished movie from the beginning, and it just sort of went all over the place. I know. This is the trouble. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember coming out of it being like, did that movie have a script? It just felt like it found itself as it was going, but like not really. It just put scenes together. That was the vibe I got from it. And Quantum of Solace is shit. It's not a
Forgot
good.
about Quantum of Solace.
Quantum of Solace is not a good movie, and somebody got really mad at me once for really making that point.
That was Elliot.
No, it wasn't. This was again during Relator.
Okay.
Somebody got really, really mad at me for being like, "No, Quantum of Solace is shit," and they were like, "I can't believe you're not letting other people have opinions." And I'm like, "Okay, but like there are objective opinions, and I'm telling you can like Quantum of Solace, but it's not a good movie." I think it's thoroughly 50-50, the entire franchise, because No Time to Die was a great send off for the whole thing, but also it's not as good as Skyfall. Like Skyfall kind of hit the pinnacle for me. Yeah. Anyway, that's me done. I put this in here because I kind of thought it was funny. Twilight.
I looked at the list.
Please stop.
I can't believe
Please
Twilight
stop.
and High School Musical are here over John Wick.
Yes.
That hurt my soul.
Look, I thought about it and then I forgot about it. So there's that.
There you go. Twilight, I saw the first one and that was enough for
Look,
me.
Twilight is a franchise where it's like I was a really big fan when I was 12, and I still think that first movie is actually pretty solid. It's not good, but like it's solid. It's more solid than the rest of them.
Sure.
They are. I mean, they're terrible. I will put them in. Please stop. Don't get me wrong.
Yes,
but
please stop. Also, I would like to point out that Ian agrees with me. Matrix is a franchise. As a franchise, is pathetic. One good film out of 4 is a bad franchise.
Yeah,
I haven't
think
seen the fourth one, so I can't comment on that.
it's not great. I agree with that actually. It's a really, really great first movie that then writes the concept, the franchise writes the concept down.
So it should be lower.
Well, we're moving things around at the end. Save
Okay.
your criticisms for when we have the entire list in place.
Okay,
The
all
next
right.
one is Shrek.
50-50.
Yeah, 50-50.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Because, you know,
Okay,
you've got
cool.
Shrek 1 and 2, and then you've also got
The rest of them.
the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, moving swiftly on. Avatar. Lily, I'm giving this to you. I put this in here mainly just to make you happy.
Thank you.
Honestly,
Avatar,
at the same time,
Avatar.
we've only got 2
Excellent.
movies at the moment. It's the
I know.
trouble.
I believe in James Cameron. I believe in his vision. Both movies are the love of my life. Excellent. Perfection. Yes.
Can I suggest something?
Yes.
Can we put it in flawed but criticize it and I'll kill you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
think
say,
because
yeah.
I think out
I
of
will
all of
murder
these, that
everyone.
makes the most sense for you.
Yes.
Because like, you know, I think when we talked about it, I had my criticisms of Way of Water, but I still think it was a solid movie.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Jurassic. There it is. Do you like my dinosaur?
Truly, he does.
Look at him.
I'm gonna opt out of this one. I've only seen the first one.
I've seen all the Jurassic.
Beautiful dinosaur.
Thank you. I saw all the Jurassic World movies, and I've seen the original Jurassic, and I haven't seen 2 or 3. So I will let Lily decide this one. Look, I've seen out of the 6 movies that are there, 4 of them. That's a pretty decent track record.
No.
We
Not
only
when it
have so
comes
much
to
time
Jurassic.
die on this earth, so we have to choose them.
I'm sorry, but Jurassic is the. It's
This is
fucking
wonderful.
50-50, and I hate that it's 50-50 because I really want to say it's.
Do you know what's so fucking funny? I said you were going to put it there to my mother. She was like, no, she'll put it in the flawed one. I was like, no, it's 50-50, and I think she knows it.
I know, and it's so sad. I'm gonna cry.
I feel so vindicated that I know that about you.
I love the Jurassic movies.
I know
don't
you do.
care.
And if this was like in terms of what we like just generally loved, this would be an entirely different looking list. But
Yeah,
it's about objective opinions,
I
and
know.
there's some stinkers in Jurassic.
It's still
Alas.
50. Put
Right.
it there, fine.
I have a feeling I know where this is going to go, unless somebody's secretly in this space. I've put the Rocky franchise because it kept coming up on every single fucking list that I put on. technically this includes the Creed movies, but if we've not really seen any of the other Rocky movies, I will put it into haven't seen any enough to judge.
I haven't now.
Yeah, cool.
So be
Next
it.
one?
Next one, Back to the Future. They're going back to the future.
To the future.
It's flawed.
Yeah.
So what? Well, no, because that one's specific. The top one's specifically for like very.
No,
deep-
but I mean, it's the which one is it? It's
got
the
so
close
close-
to perfection.
Okay, I would be happy
Because
with
of,
that. I haven't seen them in a very long time, but I remember the first two being really
The
good.
first two is
and I
excellent.
remember really liking the third one. I liked the train.
Yeah, the
But
third one is the stinker, basically, in my eyes, because it's like, you know, it was never able to capture why the first two was so good.
I would say to me 50-50.
But that's three movies. How's that 50-50? Which one you don't like other than the third?
All of them are just kind of, to me, a little bit. There's
Right,
some really great
I'm
moments
putting my
with
own
this.
push into it and putting it close to perfection because it's
Thank you.
iconic in its own real way.
It is.
And like the first two are really really good.
It's.
I remember really liking the third one, but I don't really remember that much about it, so I can't make that. I don't remember that much about. Doesn't matter.
Next one.
Moving swiftly on. High School Musical.
Please stop.
No.
Please stop it.
I love High School Musical. I will
fuck
defend
off.
them with my entire life. All three movies are absolute bangers.
I sang that. We sang that for my high school graduation. I started with the "We're soaring, flying. There's not a star in heaven." Yeah. I mean, it's the nostalgia. It's the sentimentality of growing up with it, right?
Look, I do genuinely think High School Musical was a huge part of my introduction into loving musicals. It's not the only
Yeah.
thing. What's the fucking what's it called? Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat has a very huge.
Those are two different.
It
very
is, but like
different
I did Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat as
Ah.
the end of year school play. I wasn't
Gotcha.
in it. You have to understand. It was just the one that was put on at the end of the year. I think it was part of the chorus. I had to dress up as an Egyptian in a way that was probably not PC. But also I was 8 and didn't really have a whole lot of
Right.
choice in this matter. And you know, it is set in Egypt partly. Anyway, but it's such an important part of like. Look, I'm not saying they're good. Am I? I can't really tell. I can't be objective about them. I do think High School Musical 3 is excellent, actually.
So, Katie, is this your "if you talk about it, I'll kill you"?
No, because I already put Mission Impossible up here. And I
That's
already said
right.
that we had to put one.
Yeah.
I'll put it in its bad, although, but I won't put it any further down. I refuse.
Fine.
Music's great, and if somebody says the word every day, I won't be able to not sing every day from High School Musical 2. Look, what other movie are you going to get Zac Efron running around a golf course and being really dramatic? It gave us
Song about,
it gave us the memes.
I can't dance. I know you can.
Exactly. Homoeroticism abound. Next one. Again, I put this one mostly in here for me because I have such fond memories of it, but it is National Treasure.
I lowest of the low for me personally.
What is wrong with you people? Do you guys not have any sense of fun? Both National Treasure movies are iconic.
Well, the Declaration of Independence.
Yes, and he kidnapped the president of the United States. They're great. Yeah. The only thing that's really, really wrong with these movies is the fact that John Voight is in them so much.
Sure. That's the only thing that's wrong with
Yes.
them. Okay.
They are fun adventure films in which Nicolas Cage is having a whale of a time.
Sure.
And they steal the Declaration of Independence. What more do you want from a fucking movie?
They are the most like schlocky, like just like direct to DVD movie that I can think of when I hear the name. Yeah, personally.
I can't put them any lower. I can't put them
No.
low.
Oh, okay.
But you already used your save.
I know,
Yeah.
but I don't want to put them in. I don't think they're bad. I genuinely don't.
I will say, stop making these.
They did. That was the trouble. They were meant to make a third one, and I've spent years wanting it. I know they made a TV show, but I'm not paying attention to that because I haven't watched it.
Stop making these as mine too.
Stop making it. Yeah.
I'm not putting it there. I will put it in as bad along with High School Musical, but I'm not putting it any lower.
Wow.
Because I can't, and I'm in control here.
Well, apparently.
Apparently.
I've got the mouse. I put Fast and Furious in here because, again, it was on every single fucking
Please
list.
stop.
I've not seen any of them, but I feel like we've got to put something in there. So
Please stop.
we really do need to stop making these movies. There's 10 of them.
Yeah.
We don't need to make any more.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Planet of the Apes trilogy specifically, because again, there's too many Planet of the Apes movies, and we've done a whole episode on the fact that the Matt Reeves Planet of the Apes movies are basically fucking perfect. So before Lily can even say anything, I am putting it in all bangers all the time.
Thank you.
And then at that point, we're left with Alien again. Have you had any more thoughts?
Fuck. Put it in fucking 50-50.
In it goes.
Whoa!
Thank you. I think that was very mature of you.
It was a growing moment. I feel like
I'm so upset about it.
we can see you seething. You feel it through the screen.
All right.
Can I throw an honorable mention?
Yeah, stick some thought. Let's do some honorable. I can't say it without wanting to say mentions, and I'm so. That's off. That's off menu podcast.
I think.
These
Sorry,
honorable
I think Ian drank something because he just started. How dare you, Fast and Furious bangers?
Listen,
Ian,
really
what did you have?
People really love the Fast and Furious movies.
Why?
I think because they're stupid.
I
do think that it's because they are just absolutely ridiculous films that kind of know that they're utterly ridiculous. From what I can tell about the people who really like them, as far as I think that is the sort of vibe. Is that they're about. I literally wrote family in brackets because that's the only thing I know about Fast and Furious.
It's about family.
It's about family. It's about
family.
Family. With a B
Brian,
in it.
what's
Family.
your honorable mention?
For a franchise we didn't mention, it would be John Wick.
Oh yeah,
I did see it in passing. It just slipped my mind, and that one's on me.
I think the first two are phenomenal movies, followed by 3, which is the of the trilogy, or not trilogy, all 4
Four of them.
4.
The 4 redeems it mostly.
Yeah. 4 was good.
I would say close to perfection.
Yeah.
Probably.
Agreed.
Understand
Agreed. Then if we do these honorable mentions, I have to let's put the Resident Evil franchise here since it was mentioned in the comments.
I haven't seen any of them, but from what I've heard, they're bad.
It's not a good.
Please stop making it.
I was going to say, would this not go in Please Stop from what I have heard about the Resident Evil movie?
It would, but I would say that the first Resident Evil movie is actually good.
Okay.
So there's that one exception where I'm like, the first one is actually very good. I really love the first Resident Evil movie. I think that was just a well-made movie, and it just everyone was very good in it. So it is very flawed, and I wish they would stop making them. But first of all, not first of all, but Mila Jovovich was great as Alice. So that was like, that's an iconic character in a very bad franchise, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the other one that should have been there, but Katie forgot, is the Maze Runner movies. Which
No, I still haven't fucking watched Death Cure. I bought it with the intention to watch it, and I still haven't fucking watched it. The first two were great. I just don't like the changes they made to the second one.
That's my exact same opinion. It's like, but I still very fond of it, mostly because Thomas Brodie Sangster and Dylan O'Brien are fucking great.
We love Dylan
and
O'Brien.
Thank you for that. Yeah, Dylan O'Brien is fucking great. So yes, I would put the Maze Runner into like, it's what is it? I keep forgetting what you named it.
Thoroughly 50-50 or close to perfection.
I think close to perfection, because it's the books are obviously superior, but just by the casting, and that they are actually very, very enjoyable movies still, despite the changes. I don't.
Every time I think about the Scorched Trials, I'm like, why
I know.
you like change
I know.
basically the entire premise of the book?
I know.
Like,
I agree.
What'd you go do that for?
I know. I agree. Again, I agree. But I still had fun. I'm not gonna say I didn't.
I think plus we've got Wes Ball out of it, and Wes Ball's already doing a really
Wes
good job
Ball's
with
great.
some
Yeah.
you know,
Kingdom of the Planet of Apes.
Exactly.
I'm proud of him.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of really good stuff in this. But the first movie, I remember being so excited about that first movie coming out. Like,
Same.
really excited. Yeah, and then I really have to get around to Death Cure, but then I'll have to watch. You know, what's this?
I know,
Brody,
Newt.
Yeah, Newt. Thank you. I couldn't fucking remember his name. It's late. We should go to bed. I think.
Yes.
Wait. We said we'd move some things around. I'll move the DCEU into Please Stop.
Yes.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yes.
The fact that I have High School Musical and National Treasure down solo makes me genuinely upset, but I can't not do it apparently. So there. Is there anything else that we feel like needs to move up and or down?
Matrix.
Yeah.
Then we'll okay, all right, we're then compromise with the Hobbit then.
We did compromise with the Hobbit.
We did.
That was the compromise.
That was the compromise. It's right there.
That's the compromise.
That is the compromise.
Still too high for me.
No one shits on Bilbo Baggins and Thorin.
You can move the Matrix down. Yeah.
I've moved the Matrix down. I think that's good. I don't think anything else needs to move.
Nah.
She says.
Order 17. Let's see.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about this list.
Same.
I can't think of any thing else to
Whoa,
say.
whoa.
What's happening?
What's happening? What's going on?
It's fine.
What have I done?
Okay.
What are you going to yell at me for? We had a whole discussion about all of these.
No, it's fine. It's okay. It's okay.
I like our little selection of flawed but criticize it and I'll kill you selection.
Yes.
I think it's a fun. I think it suits us, honestly.
Yeah.
In a strange little way.
Yeah.
Actually, if we're gonna, this means absolutely nothing to anybody but me. But now at least it's in the order of where we're sat on the screen. God. I flipped over Avatar and Spider-Man because now it's in the right order.
Oh God. Okay. If it makes you happy,
it makes me very happy. Look, that's
good.
Just satisfying.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up then.
I feel good about that. As I'm sure I've missed out so many franchises because again, I really should have. I honestly thought I could do this in about an hour and a half. I was wrong, and I probably should have sat down way earlier to put together this list. However, if you have any specific franchises that actually you think I should have put in here anywhere, let us know what they are and where you'd put it in the comments below, please.
Yeah.
If you're watching this after the VOD. As the VOD. Sorry, it's late and I fried my brain doing this. Audio listeners, I'm going to download this and put it on our Twitter, so you can have a look at it for yourself and you can see all my fun little art. I might post the Alien and the Jurassic ones individually, just so you can see them a bit better because they look insane.
Please do. They are masterpieces.
It's such a shame that none of us actually have seen really any Rocky movies because I drew little boxing gloves for both of them and they came out better than I thought they were going to.
We appreciate the art.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Did I put with the Mission Impossible one? I put a little bomb at the bottom of it with a little, Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I put the world's worst spider on the Spider-Man ones.
Good spider.
What was I going to say? Yes. Any thoughts on any franchises that we haven't mentioned in below? Also, if you think we've really misjudged any of the ones that are on the list, please also put that in the comments below.
Yes.
Any other High School Musical and or National Treasure fans, please come to my defense because genuinely this hurts me. It hurts my soul.
refuse to comment on it.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
we're not
Like
gonna
I'm sure
comment.
other people agree with me. I just don't know where they are right
Yeah.
this second. What other things do we need to say?
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yes.
Yes.
The audio version of this should be up tomorrow.
Yes.
Depending-
If I don't forget again.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just assumed you got too busy, but
I did, but I also forgot.
Great,
I
cool.
was busy and forgot.
She was busy and she forgot.
Yeah.
As a reminder, I'm using my letterbox now, so you can. That link is in the description if you want to see my letterbox thing. I haven't used it in a couple of days. I got halfway through Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows, and I was like, this movie's really fucking good, but it's quite late, and I'm kind of tired, and I haven't gone back to it yet because I don't know if I have it in me to watch the end
Fair.
of that movie again.
Fair.
But it's solid.
True.
And anything else? Oh, we're not here for the next couple of weeks. So 20th and the 27th, we are not here.
You're not here.
Lily's busy on the 20th. I'm going to a wedding the weekend of the 27th. But we will be back on the 4th of October to talk about Joker, Folie à Deux.
Yes.
And then...
Which I feel like I once again have to protect with my life. I have a feeling.
hasn't even come out
Just
yet.
like I did with the first one.
I have. It's like I've had a vision of how that whole review is going to go. I think you're going to be uncritically adoring of it, and I think I'm going to have notes. And I think I have no idea, well, Brian, because I don't really know what your particular feelings on Joker are overall, but between the two of us. I think that's exactly how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Especially after the reviews came out and they were the way that they were.
I was like, you're doing the same thing you did with the first one.
This is the thing. I think it's going to be exactly the way that the first one was, where I'm going to be like, well, that was very interesting. I don't know if it's saying a whole lot. And then that's just, that's going to be my entire thought process. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
After that, couple of weeks after that, I'm going to be going to a couple of films during London Film Festival. Might talk about those during that.
Yes.
We'll see what
The White Robot is getting such good reviews.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm kind of quite excited to see that one now. But I'm also seeing, I'm seeing Queer because I'm actually quite excited about that one, and I'm seeing We Live in Time. Because again, I'm just curious, and I'm getting more of a sense of why this movie was made now, which is making me more interested in it and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
And I'm seeing the I can't fucking, I think it's called like A Real Pain, but it's got Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg. I think it's directed by Jesse Eisenberg. It was the first thing that Kieran Culkin did after finishing Succession. So when it was said it was on at the festival, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my four. I don't think I will have seen them all before that point. No, actually, I'm not watching the last one on that Friday, and so I should be going there, finishing the movie, and coming straight back to do this, so I can talk about them then. But I think that's the only thing we really have for that week. When we get to November, we're fucking stacked, guys. We're gonna be here for basically every single week, late October into November and probably December. Because everything's coming out on the same fucking day every single time. I will send the what's it called, schedule, and put that on the YouTube, not the YouTube, the Twitter.
Somewhere.
I'll put it on YouTube as well. But I was thinking about Twitter. I think that's it. Lily, take over.
Yes, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like and comment under this video because it helps the algorithm. And it's going to be up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and whatever else is there that you might listen to us, because we are lovely and fun. And this was us tier listing franchises. If you don't agree, well, oh well. Sucks for you.
We do want to hear about why.
Yes.
Please let us know.
Yes. If you shit on anything that I like, I'm going to come and find you.
I mean, what I was going to say is if you have any specific opinions about where any of the franchises that we didn't actually rank anywhere should go, that would be a great thing to hear about. Such as Mad Max and Die Hard and Rocky in the original Star Trek movies.
Yes, you can talk about that.
I would like to hear where people should think those go.
Yes, there you go.
I have to leave the internet now.
Same. Please watch movies. Don't forget that. And also, got the check.
I'm hitting the introduction button. We're going.